If you think bruxism only happens while you sleep, you may be missing the hours when your jaw is actually practicing the habit. You may not grind your teeth loudly at night. You may not wake up your partner. You may not have dramatic tooth damage. You may not even think of yourself as someone who grinds their teeth. But right now, while you answer emails, drive, focus, scroll, work under pressure, or hold back stress, your teeth may be touching. Your jaw may be bracing. Your tongue may be pressing. Your temples may be tightening. And your nervous system may be training the same pattern again and again and again. That's awake bruxism. And it's very different from sleep bruxism. Not because one matters and the other does not, but because they often need different strategies. Tonight, a mouth guard may protect your teeth, but today, awareness may be what begins to change the pattern. And that is what we're talking about today. Welcome back to the Clenching Chronicle, where we look at jaw clenching, teeth grinding, facial tension, headaches, stress, and the nervous system patterns that often hide in plain sight. Today's episode belongs in the foundation of this whole conversation, because if you misunderstand this one point, you may misunderstand your own symptoms. The topic is awake bruxism versus sleep bruxism. And the reason this matters is simple. Most people use the word bruxism as if it only means one thing. They hear bruxism and they think, oh, that means grinding your teeth at night. Oh, that means grinding your teeth at night. That's part of the story, but it's not the whole story. Bruxism can happen during sleep. Bruxism can also happen while you're awake. And those two patterns can look very different, feel different, and respond to different strategies. This matters because many people are walking around with jaw tension all day and still think their problem only happens at night. They wake up with jaw pain and assume, I must have been grinding my teeth in my sleep. Maybe they were. But maybe they also spent yesterday clenching during emails, clenching during traffic, clenching while concentrating, clenching while holding their breath at a computer, clenching while scrolling at night, clenching while trying to push through stress. That daytime pattern matters because the jaw's not just a dental structure. The jaw is connected to your stress response. It is connected to posture. It's connected to attention. It's connected to breathing. And it's connected to the way your nervous system prepares, protects, braces, and responds. So today, I want to give you a cleaner way to think about bruxism. Not as a mysterious nighttime problem, but as a timing-based problem. When does your jaw become active? During the day? At night? Or both? That question changes everything. Because if your jaw is clenching while you're awake, you have an opportunity. You can notice it. You can interrupt it. You can train a different response. But you cannot change a pattern you don't detect. That's the theme of this episode. You cannot relax a clench that you do not notice. So let's start with the word itself. Bruxism is often used to describe repetitive muscle activity. That activity can include grinding, clenching, bracing, or thrusting the jaw. But here's where people get stuck. They think grinding and clenching are the same thing, and they're not. Grinding usually means the teeth are moving against each other. Clenching usually means the teeth are pressed together without much movement. Jaw bracing can be even quieter. The teeth may not be forcefully grinding, but the jaw muscles are holding tension. Jaw thrusting means the jaw may be pushed forward or held in a strained position. I think we've all felt that at one time or another. So bruxism is not always loud. It's not always dramatic. It does not always sound like teeth scraping in the middle of the night. Sometimes it's silent. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's a low-grade pattern of tooth contact repeated hundreds of times a day. And that's why people miss it. Let me give you a simple test. Right now, as you're listening to this, where are your teeth? Are your upper and lower teeth touching? Are they slightly apart? Is your tongue resting gently on the roof of your mouth, or is it pressing against your teeth? Are your lips tight? Are your shoulders lifted? Is your jaw soft? This moment matters because many people discover awake bruxism by checking it during their ordinary life. Not during pain, not at the dentist, not during an emergency, just during a normal day. They realize, wait, my teeth are touching right now. And then they check again later, still touching. Then again during work, still touching. Then in the car, still touching. Then while scrolling, still touching. That's the kind of pattern that can create jaw fatigue, temple pressure, facial soreness, tooth sensitivity, and a sense that the jaw never really gets to rest. The healthy resting position for most people is not clenched teeth. It's usually lips together, teeth apart, jaw soft, tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth behind your front teeth. Lips together, teeth apart is an important phrase. Lips together, teeth apart, jaw soft, tongue relaxed. That's not a cure. It is a cue. It gives your nervous system another option. And this is where we start to separate awake bruxism from sleep bruxism. Because when you are awake, you can check, you can notice, you can practice. When you're asleep, you can't consciously decide, I'll relax my jaw now. And that's why the distinction matters. Awake bruxism happens while you're awake. That sounds obvious, but it's more important than it sounds, because awake bruxism is often tied to moments of attention, stress, focus, posture, emotional control, and mental effort. It may happen when you're trying to get something done. It may happen when you're under pressure. It may happen when you're thinking hard. It may happen when you're annoyed but not saying anything. And it may happen when you're driving in traffic. It may happen when you're reading difficult news. It might happen when you're lifting something heavy. It might happen when you're concentrating on a screen. Awake bruxism can show up as daytime jaw clenching, repeated tooth contact, jaw bracing, holding the jaw rigid, pressing the tongue, tensing the cheeks, pushing the jaw forward, or gripping the bite without realizing. Here's the important part. Many people with awake bruxism do not feel like they're doing anything extreme. They're not saying, I'm crushing my teeth all day. They're saying, I just feel tight. My temples ache. My jaw gets tired. My face feels tense. My neck gets involved. My teeth feel sensitive. My headaches get worse during work. I feel like I carry my stress in my jaw. Now, that phrase is really important because for many people, the jaw becomes a stress barometer. The body feels pressure and the jaw responds. The body focuses and the jaw tightens. The body prepares and the jaw braces. The body suppresses emotion and the mouth holds it. That does not mean the person's weak. It doesn't mean that they're doing something wrong. It means the nervous system has learned a pattern. And learned patterns can become automatic. Think about typing. At first, you had to think about every key. Then the pattern became automatic. Think about driving. At first, every movement took attention. Then your body learned the sequence, and jaw clenching can work the same way. The nervous system repeats it enough times, and eventually the jaw goes there before you can consciously choose it. That is why telling someone, just stop clenching, usually doesn't work. If it were that easy, they would have stopped already. The problem is not a lack of intelligence. It's a lack of awareness at the moment the pattern begins. By the time many people notice awake bruxism, they're already sore. The temple's already tight. The jaw already feels tired. The headache is already building. And so the goal is not to wait for pain. The goal is to catch the pattern earlier. That's why awareness training matters. This is where biofeedback comes in. A biofeedback cue can help interrupt an automatic pattern. In the case of Clench Alert, the idea is to use gentle vibration as a real-time signal that clenching has been detected. That signal is not there to shame you. It's not there to punish you. It's not there to say, you failed. It's simply a cue that says, notice this. And once you notice it, you can practice a different response. Release the bite. Separate the teeth. Soften your tongue. Exhale. Drop your shoulders. Return to lips together, teeth apart. That's the beginning of retraining. Not force, not willpower, awareness. Because again, you cannot relax a clench that you don't notice. Now let's talk about sleep bruxism. Sleep bruxism happens during sleep. That means the person is not consciously aware of the activity while it's happening. That makes it different from awake bruxism. With sleep bruxism, you may only know this is happening because of the evidence left behind. You wake up with jaw soreness, your teeth feel tender, your temples ache, your dentist notice wear, a crown cracks, a filling breaks. A bed partner hears grinding. Your jaw feels stiff when you open in the morning. You wake up with headaches. But unlike awake bruxism, you cannot simply check yourself in the moment because you're asleep. You can't say, oh, my teeth are touching, I'll relax them now. That's why sleep bruxism often requires a different kind of thinking. The question becomes, what's happening during sleep that may be activating the jaw? It may be related to sleep arousals. It may be related to stress physiology. It may be related to medications. It may be related to alcohol or stimulants. It might be related to fragmented sleep. It may overlap with breathing or airway problems in some people. It may simply be sleep-related jaw muscle activity pattern that needs dental monitoring and protection. This is where we need to be careful. Not everyone who grinds their teeth at night has sleep apnea. Not everybody with morning jaw pain has a dangerous sleep disorder. Not every worn tooth means something severe is happening. But sleep bruxism should be interpreted in context. If someone has nighttime grinding and also loud snoring, wakes up gasping, has excessive daytime sleepiness, morning headaches, high blood pressure, or witness breathing pauses, that deserves a medical sleep conversation. If someone has cracked teeth or tooth wear, jaw locking, or persistent jaw pain, that deserves dental evaluation. If someone has complex facial pain, ear pain with no clear ear disease, headaches with jaw symptoms, or pain that's affecting their quality of life, An orofacial pain specialist may be appropriate. The mistake is treating sleep bruxism as if it's only a tooth problem. The other mistake is treating awake bruxism as if it's only a nighttime problem. Both mistakes can leave people stuck. A mouth guard might protect teeth during sleep. That can be valuable. But a mouth guard does not automatically explain why the jaw is active. And it does not train daytime awareness. That's why some people say, I have a night guard, but my jaw still hurts. Sometimes the guard's doing its job. It may be protecting the teeth, but the person may still be clenching during the day. Or they might have temporomandibular joint disorder, or a stress-related muscle tension. So again, the better question is not only, do I grind my teeth? The better question is, when is my jaw active? Morning? Workday? Driving? Evening? Sleep? All of the above? That question opens the door to a much better plan. This is what I want you to really hear. Awake bruxism and sleep bruxism may both involve the jaw. They may both create pain. They may both affect the teeth. They may both contribute to headaches, but they are not managed the same way. Awake bruxism is often about awareness and pattern change. Sleep bruxism is often about protection, sleep context, and professional evaluation. Some people need both. So let's make this very practical. If your main issue is daytime clenching, the most important question is, can you detect the pattern while it's happening? If the answer is no, then awareness is a great starting point. Not because awareness is the whole solution, but because awareness is the door. You may need to identify triggers. You may need to change your posture. You may need to adjust your workstation. You may need breathing practice. You might need stress regulation. You might need physical therapy. You may need a dental evaluation. You might need to work on that habit loop. But it starts with noticing. Now, if your main issue is sleep bruxism, the question changes. Are your teeth being damaged? Are you waking with pain? Is your sleep disrupted? Is there snoring? Is there gasping? Is there daytime sleepiness? Are morning headaches part of the picture? Is there jaw locking? Is there facial pain? That may involve your dentist, physician, sleep specialist, or orofacial pain specialist. A night guard may be part of the plan. But again, protection is not always training. And this is one of the cleanest way to explain the difference. A mouth guard protects against damage. Awareness helps change the daytime pattern. That's not an attack on mouth guards. Mouth guards can be very important. Teeth matter, enamel matters, crowns and restorations matter, protecting the teeth matters. But if the person's clenching all day, a night guard alone may miss a huge part of the load. Imagine someone wears knee pads at night, but keeps kneeling on hard floors all day. The knee pads may protect them in one setting, but daytime behavior still matters. The jaw works the same way. If your teeth are touching for hours during the day, your jaw muscles are not resting. If your temples tighten every time you focus, your nervous system is linking concentration with bracing. If your jaw locks down every time you feel stress, the pattern's being practiced. So the solution needs to match the timing. Daytime pattern, build awareness. Nighttime pattern, protect, evaluate, and understand the sleep context. Both patterns, you need a 24-hour view. This is where I want to connect the dots using the Brux method. Brux gives us a simple framework for understanding jaw clenching as a trainable nervous system pattern. Not a character flaw, not personal failure, a pattern. The letters stand for B, build awareness, R, relax the response, U, understand triggers, X, exchange the pattern. Let's apply that awake bruxism and sleep bruxism. B, build awareness. For awake bruxism, this is the first breakthrough. You start asking, when are my teeth touching? When does my jaw tighten? What am I doing when it happens? Am I focused, stressed, driving, scrolling, holding my breath, leaning towards a screen, trying to stay composed? Awareness turns the invisible pattern into something you can work with. This is where simple self-check can help. Set a reminder and ask, where are my teeth right now? Where's my tongue? Where are my shoulders? Am I breathing? Do I feel my jaw holding? If you're using a biofeedback tool like Clench Alert, the gentle vibration can become that awareness cue in real time, not later, not after the pain starts. At the moment the pattern appears, that matters because the earlier you detect a pattern, the easier it is to interrupt. So R, relax the response. Once you notice that clench, the next step is not to panic. It's not frustration. It's not, why am I doing this again? The next step is relaxation. Just exhale, let the teeth separate, let the tongue soften, let the shoulders drop, let the jaw hang slightly heavier, return to lips together, teeth apart. This is not dramatic. It is small. But repeated small releases can teach the nervous system that the jaw does not have to be in this default stress outlet. So you understand your triggers. Maybe your clenching is strongest during emails. Maybe it happens during financial stress. Maybe it appears when you're editing, designing, coding, writing, or concentrating. Maybe it happens in traffic. Maybe it happens in conflict. Maybe it happens when you're tired. Maybe it happens after caffeine. Maybe your morning symptoms are stronger after a poor night's sleep. This is where a journal can help. You're trying to become observant. There's a difference. Observation gives you options. Now, X, exchange the pattern. This is the most important part. You do not just stop clenching, you replace it. The nervous system has patterns, so give it a better one. Instead of teeth touching, practice teeth apart. Instead of breath holding, practice a long exhale. Instead of jaw bracing, practice a soft tongue and loose lips. Instead of shoulders up, practice shoulders down. Instead of pushing through tension, practice one reset before returning to the task. This is how habit change works. Not through one heroic effort, through repetition. Small cue, small release, small replacement, again and again. And that's why I keep returning to this phrase. Protection matters. Training changes the pattern. Now let's give you something useful you can use today. Not next month. Not after buying anything. Today. Reset number 1, the teeth check. Ask yourself, are my teeth touching? If yes, just gently separate them. Don't force your mouth open. Don't exaggerate anything. Just return to a natural resting position. Lips together, teeth apart, jaw soft, tongue relaxed. Do this several times a day, especially during work or during driving, but especially during screen time, especially when you feel stress rising. Now here's reset number 2, the exhale release. When you notice clenching, breathe it out slowly. Don't start by taking a huge breath in. Start by exhaling. Let the exhale be the signal that your body can release. As you breathe out, separate the teeth, soften the tongue, drop the shoulders, unbrace your face. This matters because many people clench and hold their breath at the same time. If you change the breath, you may help change the jaw response. So reset number 3, the focus check. This one's important for people who clench when they concentrate. Before you start a task, say, I can focus without clenching. Then check your jaw. Start the task with your teeth apart. After 5 minutes, check again. This trains a new association. Focus does not have to mean jaw tension. Concentration does not have to mean bracing. Productivity does not have to mean clenching. So here's the awareness cue. Pick one daily trigger, not 10. 1. For example, every time I open my email, I check my jaw. Or every time I stop at a red light, I check my jaw. Or every time I pick up my phone, I check my jaw. This is called habit stacking. You can attach a new awareness practice to something you already do. That makes it easier to repeat. So, for the next 7 days, ask yourself, when is my jaw active? Morning? During work? While driving? During stress? During screen time? At bedtime? After poor sleep? This isn't about self-blame. It's about pattern recognition, because once you see the timing, you can choose the right strategy. So here's what I want you to take away from this episode. Bruxism is not always one thing. It's not always nighttime grinding. It's not always loud. It's not always obvious. Sometimes it's the quiet pressure of your teeth touching during the day. Sometimes it's your jaw bracing while your mind is working. Sometimes it's your nervous system turning stress into muscle tension. Sometimes it's sleep-related jaw activity that needs dental protection and a closer look at sleep quality. Sometimes it's both. And that's why awake bruxism versus sleep bruxism matters, because when you know the timing, you can stop guessing. You can stop assuming one solution fits every pattern. You can protect your teeth when protection is needed. You can seek professional evaluation when symptoms point beyond a simple habit. And when the pattern happens while you're awake, you can start building awareness. That is powerful, because awareness is not a small thing. Awareness is the moment the automatic pattern becomes visible. And once it becomes visible, you can begin to work with it. Not with shame, not with force, not with willpower alone, with practice, with cues, with repetition, with a different response. So today, check your jaw. Not because you're broken, because your body's trying to tell you something. Your jaw may be a stress barometer, and the first step is learning to read it. If this episode helped you see your symptoms differently, subscribe to the Clenching Chronicle. We're building a library for people who clench, grind, brace, wake up sore, live with tension headaches, and want to understand what the jaw is trying to tell them. And remember, you cannot relax a clench that you don't notice. I'll see you in the next episode.